Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome back to your regular Friday entertainment that is All Four Back. I'm, of course, Chester 430, and I'm joined tonight by a returning Hadlington. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
And welcome back, as always, mate. Good to have you back. And stepping in for Shads tonight, who's off gallivanting somewhere. We don't know where he is, but he's in chat, but he's not in the show tonight. We welcome in last week's guest presenter, BenThompson. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, all.
So, chaps, we have the rundown for tonight's programme. We have a look back at the reserve pairs and the main STS pairs from Peterborough that took place last week. We have Shads' Rider of the Week, as mentioned by Hads, because obviously Shads is not... he's looking after them. Oh, he's looking after the missus. Oh, okay, get well soon, Mrs. Shads. We're all thinking of you. We then have our break, and we also have, before the league preview, we're going to have a quick chat to... a person in regards to the new track that's been updated, so stand by for that. Then, of course, have the usual league previews and league tables to go back into the second part of the season. So, with that being said, we're going to crack on straight away with the reserve pairs that took place at Peterborough. And this one saw the Newcastle Wolves take the victory. So that was the team of Le Sorcier and Hadlington. Of course, I now say to you, Hadlington, a league pairs winner in STS. So you've got to be happy with that, haven't you?
Yeah, especially how the season started. Hopefully, it's a turning point now. I mean, especially me and Le Sorcier haven't had the best of starts, so both scoring the same amount of points as well makes it better as well. And hopefully we can that'll give us some confidence now to push on and score more points at the lower end and give the whole team a little boost as we go in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think we were going to try and get this meeting streamed, but as you see on the programme there, literally every member of the media team was actually taking part. So we can actually get it all done, unfortunately. Ben, I'm going to bring it up a can as well, mate. 15 points for yourself, finishing on 22 points. So not the, I would say not the greatest of meetings for you and Shad, but overall a decent performance for you.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I was quite surprised. I decided to seem to turn up a little bit for one night. That's is it? I wonder if it's for one night only this season, but we'll have to wait and see. I think the first heat was a bit. I think put me and Shads off really, just because we'd been practicing. Obviously, what we thought was the line, and then when Sky and Stephen rode a different line, it sort of threw us off a bit, and then we just weren't hitting our line. So I think that was probably the one that killed our night, really, even though it was first heat. But after that, we concentrated on the line we've been practicing on and made it work. And obviously, sort of just missed out, really. And then obviously in the last heat with Shads getting a ping, first bend, that was sort of it really. The first and the last heat that let us down, I think. But I think on another night we could have been up there, to be fair.
Yeah, I bet you and Shads were buzzing after that Heat 10 result, weren't you?
Well, yeah, we well, first time I think I've beat you all season, Dan. So it was nice for me, and I think for Shads it was another one to throw at you.
Yeah, another chalking up for Shads like he always does. Yeah.
Well, I think Heat 6 done.
Heat 6, no comment. No comment. But no, I say we were going to have, it was going to be a Squall and Heppel, but Heppel's gone sort of AWOL a little bit. Like I think it's one of your riders. I think Hutty went as well. Ben, like you said in the pre-chat.
Yeah. Just after the meeting, he was there.
Yeah.
He was there with us practicing. Just I'm not sure what happened. I don't know. As I say, I think Capesy initially was trying to get us all 3 rides. I think, and then obviously because I decided to turn up, and I think obviously Shads was going well as well. I think it was one of those decisions. It was a bit hard. Do you stop it? Do you stop the the form of what's going on, or not? You know, and you could say the same thing for me. What I looked at earlier was like the Spartans. I think Stephen, I think he would have scored more if he hadn't have replaced himself.
Yeah.
But it's by the
I,
by.
I think the track was like a leveler. Cause it's not been used in the league this year. And I said after my second ride in chat, I said I don't want to see this track again because I just could not get used to it. And the best thing was that there was a lot of different bike selections as well. Some were using purple, some were using cyan, some were using the white bike as well. So it was good to see a good level of like difference for like a neutral venue being selected. I will say though, in terms of an individual performance, I mean, you got to look no further than JC for the Cowboys. I mean, 19 plus 1. I mean, he was unbeatable all night. So, and of course he rode double duties as well. He was in the main pairs as well, and he was getting a load of lots of rides. But I'll bring you back in, Hads, if I can. What was the feeling going into that last race, knowing that you needed the certain points to get the actual victory?
I think it was, what did we need? I think it was 4 points we needed. Going to the last one, and then obviously we saw Shads going first, second bend, and then as we come back round for the second lap, Shads was still sitting in the same place, and I was just like, I'll just follow Ben, and I just basically followed Ben for 4 laps, knowing that Le Sorcier was winning, and that was it. Then job done. But I think obviously out the five heats, we got 4 advantages. The only one where was against Tank and Skyrider, and Le Sorcier got passed on the last lap by both of them. But if you look back at when we rode against the Cowboys, Le Sorcier actually got put in the grass on the second lap, going into the second lap. And on the last lap, I don't know how he did it, but he rides a really tight inside line going into bend 3, and just somehow blocks Rossi coming out of the bend, and he just they were literally stuck together going over the finish line. And that was probably the one that got us through, to be fair. But I've got to give credit as well in the first race to Alan, because he had us beat in the first race. He was leading going into the last lap, and we just both hit that little boost up the inside on the last lap, and then managed to get in front of him coming over the line. So that was pretty decent. And the plan was actually, if we'd have got enough points in the fourth ride, that Pompey was going to be in the last heat. But Pompey is probably one of the better team men. I'd say he was just like, yep, carry on doing what you're doing. You two go, keep doing it. And to be fair, you don't get many people. Not that obviously you've had to see other teams using the reserves there, 2 and 3 rides each for other teams. So fair play for him to still being around and not racing, to be honest.
When you went to that last lap in that final race, were you going, "We are the champions, my friend"? were you?
That was going. That was into lap 2. That was.
Oh, brilliant! So, the Newcastle Wolves took the win in the reserve pairs, and then 24 hours later, we had the main, I'd say, senior pairs. And this time it was the Poole Cowboys that took the overall victory in quite a contest with the Newcastle Wolves. Well, of course, Newcastle finishing second on 28. Again, had your thoughts. I mean, this one anyone could have won it because of the caliber of the riders that were there.
Yeah, it was really, really close. I mean, the first half of the meeting, especially, everybody was beating everybody else, and then this was expected for me. Only like the reserve got one ride in this one, and that was Capesy in the very last ride for his team, which I did find strange because obviously that was the one where the Cowboys clinched it, and it was just, to me, it gave, taking nothing away from the Cowboys, by the way, it gave them both hands on the trophy rather than the one, I think, because Capesy had been going in cold and not having many laps. But again, we've got to mention JC dropping 1 point. I mean, over 10 races on that track. He just, the line he rode, especially when in the reserve pairs when he was against us, he was easily the quickest. Obviously, he's not a reserve, is he? I mean, come on, he's a lot better than that. But yeah, fair play for him to doing the double duty and scoring as many points as he did.
Yeah. Of course, Ben, you were the referee in this match, as we all like to see you doing. Your thoughts as a ref? Obviously, some big names in this meeting, and certainly had some entertainment, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, it was obviously a really good meeting. We'd seen from the night before. Obviously, there was the multiple lines, and it was nice actually to see. Obviously, we got new track record there from Marecki, and watching that back, it's quite interesting. He used the inside of Ben's 1 and 2 on lap 1, and then reverted to the outside on 1 and 2 for the rest of the race, with the outside to cut back on 3 and 4. And I actually thought, watching it back, there might have been a jump, but there wasn't. So, and to then, nearly 200ths of a second quicker than Powys in Heat 8, which was the next quickest race. I mean, that was a good milestone in itself, really, for the meeting. But as you say, with the caliber rider, I mean, I couldn't even sort of pick out a race of the night, really, as every race was sort of to and fro, and it was great as an onlooker, especially now because there's not really much of a job for a ref, with no bend one rule anymore. It was quite nice to watch, really.
Yeah. And again, I say, looking at individual performances, as you said, had JC, 10 rides and only dropped 1 point. That is something very, very special. And again, there was some close racing. I said the Wolves. I think that second race where Powys came last, I think that sort of maybe threw them a little bit. I think with that race, they would have possibly been maybe a bit more closer, or even in front and maybe winning it. Do you reckon?
I'd like to say yes, but they got heat advantages in the other 4 heats, so
Yeah.
They scored exactly the same points as what we scored the night before and came second. So the Cowboys have gone some to beat them, to be fair. And Adson, they were hitting crazy times in practice for fun. Ad's hit a similar time to what Marecki did on numerous times in practice, and it was just it was like, what is going on? But
I mean, also
I think fair play.
Sorry, Hans. Also, looking at that race in particular, though, that you've just mentioned in Heat 4, to be fair, I've wrote this one down, is that I personally think that was the difference, because Powell was going under Bobby, and I think he would have made it stick, but he caught the inside grass, inside of the grass on lap 3 on bend 1, which took his complete momentum away from him. And I think he would have actually pushed through Bobby, and then it would have been a 7-2. And so, from sort of my point of view, is that I think that was, but obviously on paper, it, as you say, it does look different. But yeah, no.
Oh. So as you saw there, the Pool Cowboys took the win of the Sliders pairs. Before we have our break, we're going to have now the Rider of the Week, and this week it goes to Hadlington to give the announcement. So Hads, over to you.
Yeah, obviously there were some big scores, have you mentioned? Across those 2 meetings, the few mentions, we've got obviously Ben, 15 points, and Squall 17 in the reserve pairs. Mareki and Stefan also 17 in the main pairs, adds 15 plus 3, and Bobby helping his team with a 13, backing up JC, who is going to be, for only dropping 1 point in 10 rides. It's just a bit of a no-brainer. With JC for this week's Rider of the Week.
Congratulations to JC of the Pool Cowboys taking this week's Rider of the Week. And long may it continue to the second half of the season for JC. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our break, and when we come back, we're going to have a little discussion in regards to the newest track that gets dropped this weekend, hopefully. So stick around, chaps. We'll see you all in about 5 minutes. You join us live here on All Four Back with myself, Chester 430, Hadlington, and BenThompson. And we're now going to look ahead to the second part of the show. Now, of course, the big talking point is the newest track that has been released or about to be released onto the game just in time for the 4-team tournament. That is, of course, the new Northside track. And we are delighted to welcome in the man behind the scenes that created this masterpiece. So we welcome in from the Pool Cowboys, it's Craig. Good evening, sir.
Yeehaw.
Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. You're right.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for popping in.
No worries.
Now, of course, the first big question is obviously how you came about to actually creating the track. Like, were you put forward for it, or would you just say, let's just go for it? What do you reckon? Or what was being said?
I just nominate myself. Somewhat. Who was it? A few people said to me, make Northside, it's a nice shaped track. Looks like it'd be good on the game. And I couldn't really be bothered. And then got a little bit of motivation like I do for like 1 week. It was because I was off work with the flu. So I thought, what can I do? And I thought, I'll make Northside.
Well, just like that.
Yeah,
Just like
I
that.
got a few pictures together and then spent a few days making the image and then started tiling it and then lost motivation, left it for a couple months, realised that I needed to give it to Tank about in like 1 day's time. I thought, better get that done. So hence the open practice sessions. Thank you for coming, everyone. That really helped could help me to see what needed adjusting. And I think we've got a bit of a good track on our hands, but I'm sure someone will find one dominant line that was never intended to be there.
Yeah, you had so many people coming into practice in the session crew. I mean, you even had me, for example. You had me in there. You had, I think you had Dom Toretto as well making an appearance. You had a lot of people from like past and present coming to test this track. So the plan is to have it released for this weekend. Am I right in saying?
Apparently so. I know Tank was trying to get round to it today, I think, or yesterday. Because Tintin was asking if it'll be ready to be released, so he's creating the installer for it. So fingers crossed. Tank will be posting a link up at some point, and you can all have a ride if you haven't already.
Awesome. A question from Shads has popped up, and he says, "Ask him if he's reinstated the white line fast patch, please." Can you elaborate that for us?
Yeah, so I was trying to get the outside level with the inside level with the cutback. And I thought we were there, and then Shads came in and he won a race, and I thought, that seems a bit easy, doesn't it? So I slowed down the inside line a little bit, much to Shad's disappointment, but I can confirm the inside is there. The outside line is very, very, very slightly faster, but you're taking a risk by having to enter the bend wide. It doesn't work if you dive in. It doesn't work if you enter midline. You've got to have your ass on the fence going into the bend. So if you're not wide enough, Shads will be up that inside line, showing you the way to the checkered flag.
So, do you think this track could potentially be a league track for next season? Do you reckon if it gets a lot of positive feedback?
Depends what the team want. It wouldn't be a track I use for league racing because there are too many lines on it. It's a bit too easy. Saying that, you've really got to pin it on the inside or really pin it wide to make those lines work. But I think everyone will know the line once they've done a meeting on it. But saying that, when I rode the NSS for a season, that was the most enjoyable season I've had. Training was really, really fun. But you just had to work a little bit harder in the meetings to try and gain any sort of home track advantage. But what I would say about this track is it's the first track that we've created using the new bikes. I'm pretty convinced some of the tracks from the past have changed slightly with the new bikes. This has been tested with the white bike. So I'm more confident that there won't be any new lines, but we'll see.
Haddings has just put a question in on our group chat saying, why is it called Workington on the League SS?
No, Walkington.
Walkington. Oh yeah, there's no. Yeah, well, why is it called Walkington?
Where?
I think it's on the League SS where it says Walkington, the 14 tournament track.
Oh, I don't create the spreadsheets. You have to blame Tank for that one.
Ah!
He probably wasn't close enough to his screen and missed out the R.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, it's great to have you creating these tracks, Craig. I think the next question is what's next for you?
There are a few tracks I'd like to retile. For quite a while, I've wanted to retile Lakeside. It used to be really, really good before the new image was created and it was retiled. There was a really fun round the boards line and then dive up the inside and try and pin it on the curb to make a pass. That was really, really fun. So I want to try and bring something like that back. But as for new image, I don't know. We've got all the British tracks, haven't we?
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I personally enjoy retiling because the image takes probably about 20, 30 hours to create.
Oh, jeez.
So it's more. I find it more enjoyable tiling and racing. You've got to have a lot of patience to create an image.
Yeah. So
What
I'd say,
track
look.
would you like, Dan?
I really don't know. One that I can race at. Pretty much like every single one.
I think Dan wants you to create the cycle speedway track, is what you're saying, Craig.
Well, I have
I mean,
thought about it.
I did that about 15 years ago. There is a cycle speedway track, and I made a cycle speedway bike.
I remember it well.
Trouble is, Dan couldn't win at that either, so we had to scrap that too.
Wow. Oh, I knew it was coming. Anyways, Craig, just want to touch upon your league form at the moment. You're going to second half of the season as the new number one for the Cowboys. Never thought I'd see you ride as a Cowboy at all.
Didn't have a choice.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Jan saying, Craig, you got to retile Milton Keynes to make it great again. So Milton Keynes.
I agree.
So yeah, your thoughts going into the second half of the season, Craig. What can the Cowboys do?
We just need to all click on the same night, really. We've all had nights where we've all shown the experience we've got. It's just quite rare that it all happens, all 7 riders on the same night. But it's it's a good bit of fun. I don't enjoy pool, I must admit. It's not clicked for me, even though I made it. But it's got a line that was never intended to be there. So when the Cowboys move away, I really want to slow down the middle line going into the bend, and then you'll then have we'll be back to 3 lines on that track, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done a little bit more training in the last few weeks, up to like maybe 1 hour a week, and that's brought the scores up a little bit. It's good. It's nice, good to be with a bunch of experienced lads. And I'm always trying to beat Hobnob in training, but it is quite a hard task. He keeps me on my toes. But yeah, it's going all right, I suppose. Could be better, could be worse.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for popping in, Craig, and giving us a lowdown on your league campaign and also the North Side development. And hopefully we'll get to have it on track in the coming days. So thanks again, mate, and I'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, cheers, Dan. It's been good to be brought on to have an interview about the track when you've not even asked me what the line is and how to ride it. So thanks very much.
You gotta learn that, haven't you?
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Greg. Oh, that was cool. So that was the new Northside track. Have you guys raced on it at all yet in practice?
I had a couple of. I probably had about, I don't know, 6-7 races in the one server after one of our meetings. I think it's when we rode against them maybe a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, from what I saw, it was mainly. It was like most people was going outside, so I'll have to wait and see. I don't think I'll be part of the 4-team tournament somehow, so it's not going to one I'm going to be riding anytime soon. I don't think.
Ben, have you raced the new Northside track yet, or are you still yet to?
I haven't even seen it, to be fair.
You haven't seen it? Oh
no.
It's a nice track.
As long as it's not that Byron.
Never heard that one.
Yeah, I think it was just a one for a newbie track on it. It wasn't actually a track. I don't think. I think it was just created for newbies to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
I think I've seen that track. Don't think I have. I have to have a look now. I have to have a look. Anyways, we're now going to look ahead to the all-important league fixtures. So 3 different nights this week. So first off, it will be the Somerset Spartans taking on the Poole Cowboys. And of course, the Spartans with their new signings for this match in TJ Wolfie and Brendan Hart. Ben, your thoughts on Spartans Cowboys?
Yeah, it's one of them really. Obviously, the 3 new riders for the Spartans. I think it all depends if they've got dialed into Somerset. Personally, if Brendan can pick up his form from when he was at the Brewers, he'll be pushing Ryan for the number 1 jacket. But I think with obviously the Spartans having 1 win and 1 loss at home, and the Cows having the same on the road, I think it could be a close meeting. I think if all teams turn up availability wise, I think it's going to be probably one at reserve, and which team's bottom end turns up actually on the night. And obviously, if Craig improves on when he guested for the Panthers at Somerset, but I think personally, if I was to put a score on it, I think it'd be a 50-40 win to the Spartans.
Oh, so 50-40 win from BenThompson. Had your thoughts on Spartans Cows?
I think it'll be closer than that, to be honest. I don't think Wolfie is around. I think he's an oldie. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. I think he's there. He's either still there or just coming back.
So, I mean, if the rest of the team ride, you're still going to have Tank at reserve. I expect JC to be there, carrying on that form from last week as well. So, will Sutton Rotten turn up? We don't know. He's got to start soon, I think, because he's got to get the meetings in. They might maybe look to do that at home more often.
Yeah, of course, the minimum match counter, of course, yeah.
So, yeah, I think, as Liam said there in chat, I think Method might have to roll in this one as well. So, it'll be interesting to see with the changes how Spartans go. As you say, I mean, obviously, you got Toby coming in, who's probably one of the best newcomers we've had in quite a while. If Brendan can pick up where he left off, and obviously Westy Boys now in the main 5, so it's going to be a tough one. If I was going to say, I'll probably say a 4-point win for the Spartans, but if JC's on that form and Spartans are not at full strength, there's no reason why Cows can't get the win, to be fair.
I tend to agree with you both there, gents. It's just all down to availability. And then, of course, if the former JC carries on from the pairs night, then I expect JC will have a couple extra rides, no doubt about that. I'm sure he will. No disrespect to Rossi or anything like that, but I reckon he'll have a couple extra rides, which could be a difference maker. And of course, Hobnob as well. They'll have the number 8 position, hopefully. I was going to say I'll sit on the fence, but I'd rather not. I'm going to go for Spartans home win, 48-42. So that'll be my prediction. There we go. Just mute says. So that's the Spartans and the Cowboys taking place on the 6th of April. Then we move to Monday, where the Newcastle Wolves take on the Shawfield Panthers. And of course, you guys are both in this. Well, I would imagine you're both in this match. So I'll start with you first, Hads. Of course, Newcastle at home. What's the feeling like in the camp?
Yeah, pretty good, especially after last week, gold and silver medals. We can push on now, second half of the season. I know a couple of orders. Obviously, we got to get Badger racing a bit more. And then, because if he races, he'll be in the top 5, but then that allows Le Sorcier to be reserved if the top 5 are there as well, which is, I think, is pretty strong. He's in obviously a GP rider this season as well, so the form didn't drop from Owen when he moved into the top 5 the week before as well. That top 4 for me, I mean, I know I'm going to be a little bit biased riding with these guys, but to me, that top 4, I can't see many teams, another team coming to Newcastle this season and winning, if I'm perfectly honest. So, I mean, obviously, Panthers they've all changed around a little bit. If Shads is available, you could have Shads and Bennett reserve, which is pretty strong. Obviously, Cappy's now number 1 as well, so it'd be interesting to see how he goes there. And Lofty and Bewitcher will be in the middle of the team instead of the top. So it's not a given. Bewitcher's pretty quick around Newcastle as well, so we'll have to watch out for them. But I'm confident that we can come away with a win, definitely.
And Ben, your thoughts on going into this one? Of course, a tough match. Newcastle's always a tough place to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of them that to be fair, when I first started the game, I found it really, really tricky. And now I still find it tricky, but I seem to always, in a meeting, seem to score well there. Can't really comment much on the other lads because, as Capesy says, I've not been in a training server. But from what I'm reading is, touching on what Hads has said is, Bewitcher goes well there. And I think from what I've seen today, Lofty's going pretty well. And Capesy, I think he's starting to get going as well with it. So I think it could be one of those meetings. I mean, it's hard. I don't want to say we're going to win because obviously, that'll put a bit of more pressure on. It'd be nice to get a win. But I think it's one of them. We just sort of take each meeting as it comes. As me and Shads mentioned last week on the pod, that we've been going really well in practice, and then in a meeting for some reason it doesn't seem to click the same. So hopefully the meeting, is the one where it clicks in. It clicks the same as practice. Clearly seems to be going. But as you say, rider order change. Happy at 1. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how, as a team, we go, and obviously, if me and Shads are at reserve, then obviously, if we can get it dialed in, and obviously, I'm hoping to get a good couple of hours tomorrow night in a practice server. I've got a bit more time, so hopefully by Monday we'll, be dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, like Newcastle are currently second in the league So they're going to be going all guns blazing. And I think with their top three of Sid's, Ads, and Owen, they're going to be that's at least 30 points between them at least.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be realistic, you're probably going to say, 55-35.
I was thinking that, yeah. I was thinking that, yeah, 55-35.
But as I say, you just never know. Because especially with Newcastle, it is one of those tracks where the inside, that inside line can catch you turn one. But then from what I've seen, the line, well, what I've seen on some meetings that I've ref this season, the line seems to have been more wide now on turns 1, 2. So it may not come into effect as much. But obviously there is the cutback on turn 2. So yeah, I think it's one of them tracks where anything can happen. It takes a couple of grasses or a couple of pings or anything like that, and it could change a meeting, and especially with the no first bend contact rule anymore. That can always change a meeting as well. We haven't seen many meetings this season that it has changed dramatically, but surely there's got to be a meeting that comes up at some point where it does. So hopefully that's our meeting and it doesn't go the opposite way and go against us.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be all right there, Ben. I'm sure you'll be all right. So, of course, that takes place Monday at 9 o'clock. So, quite a later start for the Wolves and Panthers on Monday night. We then move on to Tuesday night, and this one sees the Oxford Dragons taking on our old friends, the Powder Hall Scorchers. Of course, the Scorchers who knocked out the Dragons in the KO Cup. So the Dragons will be looking for revenge, and hopefully we will get that revenge. But again, Powder Hall, very, very strong team. With obviously Limo, Mareki, Jan, Cam, they're all flying at the moment. I mean, we got Craigie Hurlin for Sculio now. Of course, being a Dragon, I want us to always win, and I want us to keep us on the top of the table. But it's going to be close. It's going to be close between us and the Scorchers. I can't pick a score. I
can.
I want the home team to win, of course, don't I? I want them to win. I'll tell you next week what my score is going to be. Hads, your thoughts on Dragons and Scorchers?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one because obviously I don't think every Dragons fielded a full team yet this season. I don't think you have. I know 101's missed some. Obviously now you've got Craigie in place of Julio, but Squall at reserve is probably going to be the one for me. Here, number 6. Obviously you said you weren't too sure what's going on with Heppel. So we could see Dan at reserve with Squall again, as the same as in the pairs. But Scorchers did beat Dragons quite convincingly, to be fair, in the knockout cup.
They did turn us over, didn't they? Quite heavily.
Yeah, I think Mareki only dropped 1 point.
Yeah.
On that night as well. And if you're going full team and you're going to have David Nofear at number 7, I mean, that's something else, isn't it? So all depends obviously on the availability. I know Smiler's missed some meetings as well, but it's going to be. I think I don't know. It's probably going to. Yeah. I'm probably going to sit on the fence on this one, to be fair, because
45 all draw.
Scorchers will just want to be doing what they did in obviously the cup meeting, and they rode pretty well. I mean, they used rider replacement then as well.
Yeah.
And Limo didn't ride as well.
Yeah,
I
Limo
don't
was
think.
the rider replacement that night.
Yeah, I think somebody else rode there. So
It was
Yeah.
Racer Ryan, wasn't it? Did Racer Ryan come in as a
yes,
guest?
Yes.
it was. Yeah. So be interesting to see. I can't see Limo score it, but I think he'll score obviously the same as what Ryan did. Be interesting to see the pairings for the Scorchers.
Mhm.
Limo's moved it around a little bit in a couple of meetings, so yeah, I think if he does that, I think there's no reason the Scorchers will be confident they can come and win again here. To be fair,
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather them not do that. But Ben, what's your thoughts on Dragon Scorch? How's this one going?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 37-53 again, like in the Knockout Cup. But I think if you've got 101 available, and as you say, the rest of your riders, if Heppel's not about, then I think it's going to be a lot closer. I mean, if Limo, obviously, I know when Limo rode Oxford with the Brewers, it was on the old bikes, but obviously he was my number one there, constantly fighting out with Zagar. So, I mean, if you can turn that form on how he did before on the new bikes, then obviously it could be a big win for the Scorchers. But obviously, I think I saw in chat a bit earlier on something about JC potentially guesting for the Scorchers. So I mean that would be interesting to see who that's for. I mean that could be for the Smiler, I'm guessing. But obviously, again, if JC turns up with the same as he did in the pairs, then maybe we could be looking at 37-53. But I mean, I'm going to go bit on the fence, but not on the fence. So I'd say a 44-46 win to Scorchers. Probably not what you want. Probably not what you wear there.
And Ben Thompson's been sacked for next week, coming in his place to be Shads again. Oh dear. Hashtag Ben Thompson out.
But again, obviously depends what Craigie turns up as well. If he turns up like he did in the SCS, then definitely a closer meeting.
Yeah.
Is
So that.
Sorry, Dan. Has Squall passed the fitness test for this one? I hear he got hit by some shale in his nether regions.
Oh yes, the updates. We were talking about it in pre-meeting.
And if he can feel his fingers now.
Yeah. Squall, how you feeling, mate?
Did.
your updates were funny as that, mate. It's like, yeah, from the gate, can't feel my fingers. Was it cold? Was it?
When it's colder and something hits you, it hurts more than usual.
Oh dear!
I've never dropped down to the floor mid-race before in my life.
Oh god! Wayne saying small target. Oh,
Yeah, a good shot.
Oh, brilliant! Do you know who actually hit you or not?
I think it was Jack.
Oh, Jack Older. All right. Squall, I got here, mate. Tuesday against the Scorchers. How do you see it going for the boys? Oh yeah, definitely.
We win.
Yeah. No word of a lie.
That's it.
Yep.
Here's the points now.
Yep. Brilliant.
We ain't got a team yet, but we'll win.
Yeah. We'll give like Stefan like every race. Double points.
Nah, he's weak link.
Wheat Link. Oh, brilliant. Well, I just want to say, Squall, on the reserve pairs from last week. Bronze medal for the boys. I mean, it could have been better, couldn't it? But third place, not too bad.
Yeah, I'm happy with third. Happy with it, really.
Mm.
Dropped a few silly points. My partner weren't as good as I was hoping.
Thank you.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Hoping that Apple were going to ride, but he's got some stuff going on at the minute, so I'm not going to pressure him.
Yeah. Never want to see that track again in a meeting. I could not get. I could not get.
Way
Used
at
to
our home track.
Oh, God forbid, no.
Yeah, but you said
I
that in
wouldn't be
chat
at
the other
reserve,
day,
then.
Dan.
Say again, Ads.
You said that in chat the other day, then the next race you come out and got a 7-2.
Yeah. Don't know how. Christ. That was crazy. Yeah. Lovely track, nearly as good as V2, says Hobnob. Oh man. Yeah. Well, we'll let you go recover, Squall, and I'll see you in the week anyway.
See you later.
No worries, mate. So that's all the meeting preparations. We'll take a quick look at the league table before we do finish off tonight. And at the top, on 12 points, is the Oxford Dragons, closely followed by the Newcastle Wolves on 11. You've got Powderhall Scorchers on 10, and the Poole Cowboys on 8, Somerset Spartans on 5, and Shawfield Panthers still yet to trouble the scores. I had second half of the season. How do you see it going?
It's going to be close. I think that match this week is the Scorchers and Dragons. It's going to be the start of deciding where who's going to be the challengers. To be fair, obviously, Wolves we're confident of winning this week against the Panthers, but also obviously the Cows have got the Spartans. If the Cows get like a 4-point win there, that catapults them into the situation as well. So, I mean, for me, if Cowboys have got a win away at Spartans, and then it'll get even more complicated. But that Dragons v Scorchers is a match for me this week to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. Ben, I know it's not the ideal table you want to see, but how do you see the second half going for the Panthers?
Yeah, we'll get a win definitely before the end of the season. Some people also say I shouldn't be a betting man, but yeah, no, I think myself think just more practice. I mean, it'll help once I get want to start my new job. I'll have a bit more time. It's only got a couple of weeks to go, but that might then be the too late, to do anything. But again, it doesn't just obviously revolve around myself. And as I say, I don't think I'll be seeing many meetings, as I've said in the Panthers chat, really, because of the minimum count, but also due to my availability for practice. But as a team, continue to try and get that win, and get off that. It's all right getting the wooden spoon, but getting 0 is a bit of a sort of kick in the nether regions, really.
A kick in the guts, yeah.
Yeah. But I think as a league, I think it's potentially a 3-horse race. I think the top 3. I don't think Cowboys are, especially with Sudden sort of going missing. I know somebody said he was moving house, I think.
Yeah.
But that may be a little bit too late to have any sort of impact on that. But stranger things have happened.
Well, of course, we'll have all the action and reaction from this week's matches on next week's show. I think, chaps, with that being said, we can close proceedings. Don't forget, all our social medias are on your screen now. Not yet. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Next week's review. Yes, we've got the League 11 reviews. We've got the week 12 of the 4-team tournament, which will take place at that new Northside track. And then we have the all-important draws for the BGP and SCS round 4 taking place at Norwich. So something to look forward to on next week's show.
And just to point out, Dan, obviously we're a bit confused about the reserve 4-team tournament bit.
Of course, yeah.
We're a bit confused at that.
And the fact there's only 6 teams in the league.
Yes. And there's not enough pool riders to create 2 pool teams, let alone 1.
Yeah. Something will be hopefully discussed on next week's show. Hopefully everything can be sort of cleared up. Well, Power's saying there isn't a reserve 4-team tournament.
Nope. There's
So,
never has been, has there?
Don't think there is. Don't think there was. When was the last time a reserve 4-team tournament took place? When there were like multiple teams, wasn't it?
No idea. No idea.
I'm sure Powers will know. As I say that, he was typing in the chat. He's going to find out. Atta boy, get on, pal. Get on, pal. Season 16 was the last reserve 4-team tournament. Sizzler calling his own teammates. Oh dear. Well, there you go. Season 16 now was a reserve 4-team tournament.
I'll probably vote in that one as well.
Me, might have done. Here comes Pow on his little laptop checking the spreadsheet. Yeah, but that's for another part of the show. Anyways, chaps, I think with that being said, we can now close proceedings. Don't forget our social medias. So on Facebook, Instagram, website itself, which goes to the forum, X, and YouTube, where the podcast gets dropped onto on a Saturday night, 8 o'clock. So keep listening for that one. So in the meantime, I will say a good night to Haddington. Good night, sir.
Good night, everyone.
Say a good night to our stand-in presenter, BenThompson. See you again soon, mate.
Good night.
And it's a good night from me, Chester. We'll see you all back here next week. Usual time, usual place for all 4 back. And enjoy your riding for the week. Stay safe, and we'll see you then. Take it easy.